Good evening. So I'm flying solo for a little bit before Jakey Boy joins me. Hopefully the mic's working, because normally when I come on my own, no fucker can hear me, and I don't know, I'm just randomly chatting shit on my own and nobody knows because nobody's watching. But I can see the little green dots that suggest that sound is being picked up, so that is good. So me and Jake are going to delve into a little bit about, I guess, what you could call the psychology of sales, a bit of marketing, and maybe just a little bit of vulnerability in maybe owning, operating a brand, whatever that brand may be, and how like sort of putting yourself out there and maybe, leaving yourself the possibility to become exposed can go down pretty well. It's real, it's authentic, and it's defiant, as we say at the Defiant Show. But yeah, I think there's a few things that I'm going to dig into. Can you hear that? Some of a very loud exhaust and definitely a very small penis outside my house somewhere. Anyway, so we're going to delve into that. We're going to talk a bit about that. But for now, what I'm going to do is maybe just talk a little bit about my experience on social media since we've been doing this birthday challenge. So just for context to anybody that potentially doesn't know, because you haven't seen me absolutely bombarding social media for the last, 11 days. So the Defiant Co, which is the clothing brand, we've been operating for 7 years in February. Well, we're in February on the 21st of Feb. So that's the birthday of our first, when we went live online. The company was formed in 2018 in the November, but we didn't go live until February of 2019. So we always say our birthdays then, even though our company records suggest otherwise. But until you've made an online sale, you're just an idea, aren't you? So we always celebrate our birthday on the 21st of Feb. And this year we wanted to do things a little bit differently, because normally we'll do some kind of promotion, offer, just something to, engage our community, engage sales. Obviously, that's a massive a driver for anything that we do as a business, that any business should do. But this year, we was kind of inspired. Well, I say kind of, completely inspired by Travis at Vindicate. Most of you, I guess, will know that brand. They do a lot with the Sevon podcast, which Jake appears on weekly. Work with Hiller and Crash, Crucible, Taylor Self, all those people that are really prominent in the space and doing great things. And Travis works with a lot of them. Colton Mertens is another. And he did a challenge where I think it was 54 days or something between when he started it and the end of the year, where he wanted to sell 5 Vindicate items. And the driver for that for him was, I think, obviously I'm not speaking for him, but just reading between the lines, having had a few chats with him and then seeing how he posted updates about that, was obviously a lot of people go to him for the merch of those brands and those people that I just mentioned. So he decided, like he should, that he wants people to be proudly wearing his brand as much as those. So he said he wanted to sell 5 Vindicate items a day, every day for 54, whatever it was, days from when he started till the end of the year. And he absolutely smashed it. He put himself out there every day. He was honest about how it was going. It went fucking brilliantly. So that was amazing to see. But he was doing a lot more content, a lot more creative stuff that he said was sort of taking him out of his comfort zone, but he still wanted to do it. And the results were just unbelievable. So I thought that we'd do the same at the Defiant Co. He's coming. Don't leave, Heidi. It's just me rambling for now, but he is coming. So you'll see his beautiful face shortly. So yeah, so I thought I'd do something similar to what Travis did at Vindicate. And I said, right, from our birthday, with our birthday being on the 21st of Feb, every day in February up until our birthday, I wanted to get 2 online sales. And I know things like that seem like really small targets, but I don't know, people from the outside looking in maybe don't understand the the difficulties in trying to sell as, especially as a clothing brand in the fitness space, because when you think about some of the main players, you know, we don't necessarily even have to talk about the massive brands, but like even within our niche space, there are still some really big players. You know, if you think of like Velites, Wit, brands like that, they're not really that well known outside of CrossFit, but they're still massive players that take a lot of wallet share. And when you look at, if you want to go further afield to just training brands in general, we've got like Gymshark, Nike, all those types of Lululemon, all those. And if you look at like, if you just look at ad spend, for example, you know, for us as a small brand, we want to spend as much as we can on Facebook ads and things like that, because that's the best way to sort of generate new business. But you can go to, there's a website you can go to that shows all the ads that businesses are running. And like Gymshark, for example, they've probably got like 50 ads running at once that are really specifically targeting demographics and customer avatars that they've established. So they're doing really targeted marketing, which is just, you know, when you've got a budget like those guys will have, is much easier to do. So as a smaller brand, you don't necessarily have that opportunity. And then if you do invest in marketing, especially like Meta and things like that, obviously you can't be quite as niche in terms of how you target, because you can't have those 50 ads running that the bigger brands can. So it is difficult as a smaller brand. And then, like I say, the point I was making when I started this ramble was that you can't like necessarily expect to sell every day. Hence why our target was two orders a day. Now, I initially, when I was talking to my business partner about it, I was like, I think I'm going to just say, let's go for one. And then I was like, well, no, let's do two. Let's go for it. Put ourselves out there, expose ourselves. You know, we could fail, and then we're going to have to give the update on it. But to do that, I committed to doing a new piece of content every day on social media, which again, it is quite time consuming to not only come up with the idea, because you're scrolling, trying to find good stuff, but then film it. And when you're not a natural at it, like Travis will have found at Vindicate, and like I've certainly found over the last 11 days, it is a little bit challenging. But what I will say is, I'm not saying the content's got better. I'll let you be the judge of that. Have a look at our Instagram and see if you think it's shit or not. But it's real. And what I mean is, in the back end, the editing, the bits and bobs that I do to try and make the video as compelling as it possibly can be, given the content that I'm producing, that's getting easier. So it's like anything, isn't it? The tasks you do more regularly, you get better at. So it's never been, for me, it's never been a kind of a case of being shy on camera, being nervous on camera, because I always just try and give a very true reflection of myself. So when I was looking at the content ideas, I wanted them to be me. I didn't want them to be like cheesy. I wouldn't be able to do any of the proper acting stuff. I did a little bit of one, but I thought it was funny because it was taking the piss out of myself, and that always goes down well. But I wanted it to be genuine and real. So I've kind of just give a bit of an insight into the brand and things like that people might not have seen, but also lent on things that are already out there, because there's loads and loads of videos out there of things in the fitness space that are, you know, what they call a viral hook, which get people's attention, and then you can deliver your message after you've got the attention. And one of the things that I found since doing that is there's been like sort of two very different, here you go, Heidi's here now. There's been two very different results from the content I'm posting. So when here we go. All right, mate. So when I've been creating posts that are what you might consider a viral hook, people that see them is like almost double. So I'm seeing like really high views. And then when you look at the actual data behind those views, at least 50 to 60% are non-followers. So when you do the viral hook style, bringing them in, that seems to be passed to more non-followers. I'm not sure why. And then when I do the stuff that's a bit more real and a bit more me front and center and a bit more of a story about the brand, obviously our followers interact with that because they see it's real. They even know me or know the brand, and they interact with that. So then I'm assuming then the algorithm just pushes that to more of our followers than it would, because those ones get way less views but way more interaction in terms of like shares, comments. So it's a really fine balancing act to try and understand what works and what doesn't. And I think you can make a case for both, because in terms of like the sales and things like that, it's been pretty even regardless. But it's just, you know, in terms of what you want, And what kind of views you want, I guess, is determined by the content. So yeah, that's what I've learned so far. And before we dive into any more, let's say hello to Jake.
I'm glad I missed that. Sounded riveting. What were you talking about? The
You fucker.
I've just come from the swimming pool. No, what you just basically saying how shit social media is.
No, I weren't. Like, I've never been one of them people that shits on social media. You know, I think it's pretty good. I guess if you wanted to say something with shit about it, it's very difficult to work out the algorithms and how they work, and I think they're constantly changing. But I have found some consistencies in it. I was just saying that when I try and post a bit of content that's maybe more viral or as a viral hook that everyone might have seen before, that gets pushed out to far more people that don't follow us already. And when I do the more real me front and center stuff, that seems to get pushed more to our actual followers.
This is exactly why. So over the years, like that whole memetic, so as in memes, the whole memetic way social media works, I detest it. Everything about it is gross to me. And I could easily, my business partner in 2016, 2017 was begging me to do shit like social media stuff from the gym, to do these skits, be funny online, and I just could not bring myself to do it. I could not. It gives me the ick. It's gross, and to this day, I refuse to do it. It's just, it doesn't sit well with me, and I'd rather be poor and not have any money in my bank and have the knowledge that I didn't do any of that shit. Not saying it's anything you've done, by the way, but it's like you open your browser or your thing and you'll see, like, I don't know, some woman or some bloke, like they're doing a dance with their partner and then they lift them up and then they do like some weird shit. And then you're like, okay. And then you and then you scroll down, you're like, oh, there's 27 more people doing the exact same thing, pretending like they've come up with it. And it's so unoriginal. It's such shit. And I cannot ever look at that crap and think, wow, they're really cool. And then you look at the likes and follows, and it's like they got 200,000 likes and loads of views. And to me, that means nothing. It means nothing, because it's just regurgitated shit that is just it's like dung beetles just moving shit from one end of a field to another. That's all that is to me. I look down on it and I despise it, and it's beneath me. But so there's a reason, I'll come off my high horse in a minute. There's a reason I've never done anything like social media like that, is because I couldn't live with myself for having done it. But I get why people would do it, because it gets fucking views and then they talk about something they want to talk about. But the sheer volume of people that do it, it's the same people watching the same shit all the time. It's unoriginal. It's utter drivel. And for any, like, now I look at them and I think, well, no one came up with it. And that's the whole point of a meme. You don't know where it came from. Dawkins came up with the idea of a meme of replication to explain, because people asked him, well, explain another way of evolution. Explain how evolution works outside of evolution. And he said he came up with this idea of the meme, like replication, where over the stages and stages and copies and copies and copies and copies and cloning, it's the same thing, but over generations, it morphs and changes into something. That's where the word meme came from. He came up with it, and it's evolved into social media. And now people just replicate shit, and you never know where it came from. You don't know the original source of it. So it gets lost and merged. There's no defining features of these people. And they're just... You know, and the thing is, yes, it can be used as a sales tool, but you look at any of the ads over the, like, you think about when we were growing up, you had, you know, Channel 4, ITV, and later on Channel 5, you had the adverts between, and you think of like the adverts that like, if I say to you Toys R Us, right, you think of the Toys R Us advert at Christmas time, don't you? Right? Those adverts were completely original, completely unique. They stay in here and you remember the brand. Now, hardly anyone is doing that. You think of Coca-Cola, like Christmas. You think of holidays are coming. You think of, like, even latterly, you think of McDonald's. You think of just, I'm loving it. Like these strap lines, these tags, these hooks, the music, the money they've put into the advertising. If as a brand, you've got these super brands that come up with these ideas and these fucking adverts, and they've put millions into this stuff, it's almost like a hack for social media. You just copy and paste with your bit on it, and it will get views and likes. And it's almost like an easy, low-hanging fruit win. But ultimately, no one will remember a CrossFit massive dick, right, from Hartlepool, right? I don't know why I came up with that. But if they do a meme a year ago as a member drive, like a driving membership kind of advert, and they just copied, and it was something that someone else had done a million times before, no one is going to remember that. Whereas if they came out with an original fucking advert, a piece that no one else had done, they took a year to develop and maintain and get done, people will remember that advert, and they'll be remembered for that advert, and they can rehash it, and it's theirs, it's unique to them, and that's the value of it.
It is, but I think there's two things there. Like, one is like they're not going to have the resources to come up with something like that, and then what are they going to do with it? But what I do think about stuff that, you know, when you do try and make something go viral, it's like, what's the purpose? So when I'm doing what I'm doing at the moment, I'm the same as you. I can't do the cringe stuff. I want it to be real. That's why I do stuff. I'm like, well, you know me, like, I'm just talking how I talk, and, you know, it'll turn some people off and it'll, you know, turn some people on. I'd like to know who they are. But I just want to be real when I do it. And then I don't mind then, because it's then in line with our brand values. So if it's a bit funny and a bit, because most of the time I'm just taking the piss out myself. But when people do stuff purely for likes and views, that's when it's a little bit like you're constantly chasing something that constantly changes, so much so that you're never really able to sort of reap the benefits of it, are you? Because say you do something that's completely outside. Say I did a meme or something, or a like, what could you say, like a viral video that got 1 million views, but it was so anti everything I stand for, not me, didn't reflect the brand. Those 1 million views we get are worthless, absolutely worthless, because you know, you do it by the pure numbers, but the sales you're going to get off the back of that are limited, because you're doing something that's not your brand. So then when they come to your brand, they'll be like confused. The users are like, kind of like, you know, it doesn't make sense to them as to why you've done that. So getting the eyes on doesn't always translate to sales. And that's why I think when I'm trying to use the viral stuff, I'm trying to keep it in the fitness space so that it's got a loose link. So it is still going to show it to people that are scrolling fitness stuff and things like that. And also I'm doing stuff that, you know, when I'm watching it back, I'm not cringing at myself. And that's the main thing. Like, I think I like, and what's Heidi saying here, isn't begging for 2 sales a day a little cringe? Well, it depends, doesn't it? I guess it depends how you look at that from a sales point of view, because when you're in the business of selling something, do you consider it sales and marketing, or do you consider it begging? Everybody wants to sell something. Everybody wants to buy something. So just putting yourself out there and saying, I want you to buy twice today. And I think you can do it in a begging way. And I don't think we've done it in a begging way. We've just been quite open and honest about what we're doing and why we're doing it. And don't get me wrong, like, it's fucking working. So if it's a little cringe, I can kind of live with it, because, you know, we've done 41 orders in the 11 days so far that we've been doing this. And, you know, if you look at our stats from this time last year, we'd done about 14 orders in the same period, and definitely not something every day. So it depends how you frame cringe. And, you know, when you're in the business of selling something, is it cringe to do it as long as it's in line with your values and what you stand for as a brand? Because I haven't done anything that I would suggest is outside of those things.
It's no different to me than if I'm a PT, me putting an ad out on social media saying I've got 2 spots available, or PT now available on a Tuesday morning. Like, who wants it?
Yeah,
it's the platform of Instagram is a very, very unique way of selling, and for it to work, it has to be done in a certain way. And going back to
I like that. What Travis has just said. That's a great point. Like, if you're not telling people what you want, you're never going to get what you want.
Well, that and that's the thing. All of this comes down to being decisive, not divisive. So I that's what I try and do. I try and just be, when I talk, when I ask a question, I try not to be divisive. I try to be really decisive with my question. So if I'm speaking to my wife, if I'm talking to a client, if I'm talking to the tax man, if I'm talking at the shop, that's happened with age. I've just got a lot more decisive with what I want, and I can't be fucking bothered with faff. I don't have the time. I've got 3 kids. I'm up at 5 o'clock most mornings. I'm going to bed late out of choice because I love my life. Every moment of my life, I am obsessed with how amazing my life is, right? It's a choice. And because of that, I have to be a lot more assertive and decisive with my words, my language, and what I'm doing with my time. And if anyone's faffing, if I go to a shop and people start talking to me, I will have to tell them, look, I'm really sorry, I don't have time to talk to you. And I'll just walk away. I've got no problem with that, because I know on any given day that when I do have time, those people know that I will talk to them and I will listen, and I'll be wanting to listen to what they have to say. But as long as you're telling the truth, and as long as you're being decisive with what you're asking people, not just telling, but asking people, it will be falling on open ears. But this is the biting point for me, is that if you put, and I'm not saying this to you, by the way, if people put out too much shite, people will stop listening. People won't listen to you. If someone walks in a gym every day and they are late every day and they say, oh, it was the traffic, oh, my kid was sick, and there's a dog in the road, the snowman knocked on my window, like every single day, you're just like, oh, fuck off. You end up not listening. Whereas if you're clear and you are direct with what you want and you say, you tend to get more results. So what I've seen with your thing and what Travis did, but I think it was leading up to Christmas. At some point, it was tail end of last year. It fucking worked. And you're just saying, here's what I want. I'm putting out content. Here's me being a real person. This is a small business. I am running the show. Here's what I do today. Do you want to support my brand? Here's my goal. I'm being open with my goal for the day. It would be like Woolworths having a whiteboard at the front of the shop saying, we need to sell 10 kilos of pick and mix today. Come and help us out. Like, cool, fine. I'll come do my job.
The other thing as well, when you think about sales and stuff and how people respond to what you're doing, if someone were to unfollow me or the brand because I was asking for sales every day, they were never going to buy anyway. And it's the same as when we do, we do a lot of email marketing. We send 3 or 4 emails a week. And the people that unsubscribe when you send something, it's good. Go away, because if you weren't going to buy, it's the same. If you've got followers that are inactive, that damages your algorithm and your reach. And if we've got people on our mailing list that we're never going to buy, every time we send an email, we pay per email that goes out on top of the subscription we have with our CRM. So it's almost good. It's a good way of filtering people out, because I think if you do it Heidi's quite right. If you do it in a cringy way, if I would just say, going, please buy something today, I need to hit my 2 orders, it's just, that's cringe. Fuck me. I'd kick my own ass. But when it's like, right, this is a journey on, this is a story. Like the second day, I went to bed, and we'd only done 1 sale. And I woke up and we got one at 10:48 and I was buzzing. But it was nearly over before it started. And there were no I have put some stories out saying we still need another sale today. Who's in? And I think that because when you've got a community around you that wants to support, it resonates with them pretty well. And like, we got an email last night that I put on my story that I just love getting emails like this. And the guy had said, oh, if I buy such and such a product, does that contribute to your daily target? You guys rock. And I didn't even know this guy. You know what I mean? He's followed us, he's cheered from us from the sideline in the shadows, wants us to do well, and just saw an email. But tactically, what I did there, I saw the email come in and I didn't respond to him until today, because we'd already hit the target yesterday. So I responded to him today, and then he bought straight away. I was like, there you go. What's she saying now? It only works up until a certain point. That's true, because I don't know, maybe it would go on forever, but I guess the thing is we've got a story to tell on this, haven't we? There's a reason we're doing it. Like Travis told a compelling story for what he was doing. We've got one. We're saying, right, it's our birthday month. We're going to do a challenge from the 1st to the 21st. And we're not just asking for sales. Like what we're doing as well is everyone that orders in that period, not only do they get an amazing item from us, because all our stuff's great, but every single item that's ordered goes into the draw to win 600 quid's worth of Defiant merch, which will give, basically, we're calling it a year's supply. We're going to give them a £50 voucher every month for a year. So we're giving something as well, away as well. So it's, I don't know, it lands pretty well with me. I'm not good with cringe stuff, but I think when people do it and they do it real, like I was rooting for Travis. Travis will know, like I was replying to most of his stories in the updates because I was like, fucking come on, I want you to do well. And if people are doing that for people that they don't know that well, then it's definitely worth a bash.
And the thing is, you do have a time limit. You've done it for
what's a squid? It's £1 English pound. It's a quid.
Yeah, you're doing it for a month, aren't you?
Yeah, well, until the 21st. So the 21st is our birthday, and then we'll draw the winner on the 21st, and that'll be it.
Yeah, you do have an end game for it. So going back to the point about like content creation and putting stuff out and all that kind of thing, and filling on from what Heidi said and something that you said. So obviously, I don't believe in the supernatural. I subscribe to the Peterson definition of like hell. It's what you're living with in here. So you're constantly berated by these feelings of regret, of guilt, of misfortune, of whatever it might be. It's a prison in your own head, and it's something that you bring upon yourself. And fuck me, if I ever created, and I know what I'm like when I've done something that I regret and guilt sit horribly with me. Like I can't live with myself. I have to explode and do something outlandish to get rid of it, right? I cannot ever do shit like that online because I know full well I will live with guilt in me for having stooped to that level. I cannot.
So what about that video I'm waiting to post, mate, that I've got? That kind of, well, isn't that the exact thing we're talking about? Someone's obviously got you to do that, haven't they?
No, totally my idea. So that video was me. I sent that to my competition team. I videoed that and I sent it to him and said, "Who's warming up?" Because we were getting ready for a competition, and I just videoed that and sent it to him. But again, like that was 2016 or either 2016 or 2017. It was way before all this like meme shit came about and people doing silly bollocks online. But I can't. Whether it like Facundo would love this. He likes to psychoanalyze me.
I was there one time when he was doing it.
Yeah, you were, yeah. But I was fucking relentlessly, mercilessly fucking like tortured as a kid if I ever did anything cringy like that. Like it was the worst of the worst thing to do, being like that fucking faux performer clown, like copying unoriginal shit. It was just like the worst thing I could do other than lie. Like it was just like you never do that shit. Like you're straightforward, you get in a job, you work in, there's no room for artistry, there's no room for like, you know, that kind of thing. And it sits well with me as an adult now. I agree. I totally agree. I'm so happy that that was being out of me. But on the flip side of it, funny enough, I'm trying to encourage my kids to feel comfortable being who they want to be, but original. I want them to be original.
The way I react to all those bits and bobs on social media, and I don't know, you'll probably challenge this, I guess. As long as I can see something real in it, then I'm okay with it. I don't like fake shit, and I don't like people saying stuff that definitely isn't true. And, you know, people that sell the dream but don't follow the advice themselves and all that. I hate all that stuff. But even when we're talking about maybe what you're considering the cringy, viral, social media type stuff, if the person doing that is real to me, and I know they're doing it for the right reasons or enjoying it, or it doesn't have that same like visceral reaction. But if it isn't, then it does, because I can't stand fake shit. And that's it. I don't know. I don't even know how I know sometimes. You know, I'm not saying I do, but my reaction is based on what I think I know about that person. So, like one of my ex, Bird, she was big into doing whatever was viral on social media. She had a big following. She had a makeup account where she did like she'd dress up as different people with really good makeup. And she was on every sort of trend and hack. But I saw the behind the scenes. She fucking loved the process so much of being creative and putting her spin on something that was viral. Whereas if you didn't know her, you might look at it and go, oh my God, she's just another one doing that thing. But she fucking loved it. So I saw the real side of it. So, and I feel like when I look at stuff on social media, I have that reaction and judge myself based on that.
It's sort of like butterfly pull-ups.
Don't do them.
No, neither do I anymore. But I look at them and I think, like I get cringe from it. I'm like, like.
But that's where we're different then, because but I look at it, and if some mong in the gym that can't do 5 strict pull-ups is doing them, I have that same reaction. But when I see James Sprague doing them at the CrossFit Games, I don't. And it's like, you need to earn the right.
Strict pull-ups.
I would, but I think if they're done right and you know that they've got the capacity to do the others and they're just going to use it to their advantage to get a faster workout time, then I get it. I would definitely, I would rather see strict pull-ups, a thing of beauty. But I do, again, it's not real, is it? If you can do butterfly pull-ups and not strict pull-ups, it's not real. You're not really doing that thing. You don't have the strength. You're just cheating.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So people that do original content, it might seem like cringy or less value than on the surface than someone else doing it. And this is my point, right? I would much rather follow a brand and support them if they had 100 followers on social media and they were being original than someone with 1 million followers just being mimetic and just copy and paste. It's an instant turn off for me. Like, and it's just gross. And I mean, the thing is as well, like, I am hypersensitive to that kind of thing. Like, it's a bugbear. Like, I wish ignorance is bliss in this. I wish I didn't hear people chewing. I wish I didn't hear tapping. I wish I didn't hear it when we're sat on the sofa and my son is making noises in his mouth, sat watching telly. I wish I didn't hear it.
Does it even wind you up when it's you son?
Man, it's the worst, because I know that I've told him 1 million times. It's in my control, and yet it isn't. It's worse. And people tapping, and people with loud, like Steven's fucking keyboard. It annoyed me. It annoyed me seeing that I can hear it. It's those massive chunky keyboard things, and I can hear the clunk, 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 clunk every time he's typing. Like, I've never even heard him use it.
He can rant as well, so I bet he types really hard when he's on one.
Yeah. And like, it baffles me that people don't get annoyed by it. But like, I know that it's like Taylor Self. I know it's me. Like, I'm the problem there, but there's nothing I can do about it. I can't switch it off. It's like, have you ever had proper road rage where you walk out the car, someone you brakes, you walk out the car, you try and drag them out the door? Imagine that. Imagine that every time someone's chewing. Imagine how much suppressing of fucking anger you have every time that happens. And it happens a lot. Like, you go to the petrol station and the woman behind the thing is like tapping a pen. And I'm like, fuck off. Like, you don't need to be tapping that pen. But I know I'm the problem, right? I don't know why I went on to that.
I think I get wound up by stuff like that, but eating's the one for me. I think eating's it's just outrageous that people can make so much, especially when they've got the mouth open. You know, you kind of have to give them the benefit of the doubt. If they've got the mouth closed and they're just making a bit of noise, it's kind of like, well, they're trying. But people that eat with their mouth open should just be shot. Like, there's just no disputing that. It's absolutely disgusting.
But here's the thing. My brain automatically knows if it's someone with a disability. So
to be fair, though, I struggle I struggle to eat around people that have got a disability. That's one of my things. I feel like, so I don't know if I'm ever in that situation.
Well, I struggle to eat around anyone because I don't want to give them the license to eat in front of me. I'd rather we don't have that kind of come up. But it's a funny, like when dogs are eating or like my baby, she's fine making all those noises. But when competence kicks in, and I know they can do it differently, it's like someone being late. Like I said earlier, if someone's constantly late, I'm annoyed with them because I know they could be on time. They're just choosing to be late all the time. Whereas if someone's one off, they're late for a class, that's cool. That's fine. Shit happens. That's life. But it's just the parameters at which I associate things. And, you know, it's just one of those things.
Man, so do you think, like, it's not the noise, it's what the noise represents?
Probably. Yeah. 100%.
Because, like, I'm thinking about it now. Like, I have that thing, like you said, when people are eating. But I remember my little dog Alfie. When he used to eat loud, I just used to be like, I just used to think it was like so cute.
Yeah.
And it was like,
yeah. Dog's doing it, fine. But like an adult, like, I'm sorry, like even kids, like it annoys me when it's my kids. It sort of annoys me when it's other kids, but I let them off because they're kids. But like adults, fuck off.
No, when they've got, I don't know, when they get to that age where they're eating with their mouth open, then you know it's the parents' fault. I remember one of my close mates, and if he watches this, if he doesn't watch it, he's a dickhead because he's meant to be my mate. But
exactly.
I remember saying to him once, because I've always had a thing with how he eats, and I remember saying to him when he first started seeing which is now his wife, he was like, told me he was going out for dinner with her, and I said to him, "What are you going to do?" He was like, "What do you mean?" I went, "Well, you can't eat like that." And he was like, "Eat like what?" And I was like, "Well, the same argument we have every time we have a meal together." Yeah. And then he said it weren't a problem. And then I went out for dinner with both of them and saw how she ate. And I was like, oh. You know what I mean? They don't notice it because they both at it. So
they don't care. Would you, here's a question then. If you could like press a button and that switches off and it didn't bother you,
no, I wouldn't press it. No, because it's not my problem. Like, they are wrong. If you are eating with your mouth open, you are wrong. Why should I have to change my reality because you're rude and obnoxious?
Yeah.
Someone said to me once, like, I remember there's like people that post shit online that, like, you know, I can't not look at it because it's real, even though it's bullshit. And I'm like, fascinates me that people buy into this nonsense that people post. Right. And I remember someone saying to me once, "Why don't you just like not look at it?" I was like, "Why should I have to not look at it? It's there. It's on my feed. They should just stop posting nonsense." I'm not going to like, and I know there's like the unfollow button and a follow, and I get all that, but I just mean like some stuff, if it is real and it's reality, it's good to be annoyed by it because it keeps you in the right lane as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. And this is why I always hark back to like knowing your values, like away from fucking weird shit with food and all that. Like with everything, and like the Mayhem lot talking about this at Coach Congress were
oh mate, when they talked about that, it was absolutely brilliant.
The knowing your values, that's been for the last 6 months or however fucking long it's been, 4 months, 5 months. It's been something that I keep coming back to all the time. Like, where does this sit on my value set? Like, where does this sit with me? Is it part of what I would consider? And it's definitely made the decision-making process for me a lot easier. There's been clarity, which definitely gives me peace of mind. Because once you know your foundations and your moral compass and your values that come out of that, you can then just go about your life and not fret the small decisions because you know that they all fit in with your values. and you can rest assured that you've done the right thing.
So what do you think to this then? Because this is a conversation I had with my sister recently about what people call anxiety. And I think there's two different things. Like there's people that have genuine anxiety, and then there's people that don't, but everything makes them anxious. And just on what you said then, it's just kind of fed into it a little bit. Because I said to her, my theory was that people that have that fake anxiety are people that are incapable of having difficult conversations. They don't want to say no. They don't want to, so they'll go to something that they don't want to go to, and then they think that they're anxious, but it's because they didn't have the balls to actually be honest and say, I don't want to go there. And the reason I was thinking about it at the time when I spoke to my sister about it, I've been in situations recently where, especially around the festive period, people want to go out and go drinking and stuff. And I don't mind being out for a few, but then I just hate being around loads of drunk people. Like, sit me around a dinner table with a bottle of wine. I'll sit there all night when people that I want to be around and want to chat to. But I just don't like being in that situation. So I'll just go, it gets to that point and I just go, right, I'm going, this is shit, see ya. And I'm honest about it because I don't want to be there. But I guess that's a feeling that some people, if you don't have the confidence to be honest, then it can cause that anxiety. And I guess it's like you were saying then about knowing what you want, knowing what you stand for, knowing what you're about. It makes you almost bulletproof, doesn't it? Because you're not going to suffer fools. You're not going to do stuff that you don't want to do because there's plenty of stuff you do want to do that's more important. And then if people don't want to come on that journey with you, or want to say that you're missing out, or want to say that you never spend time doing this with me and that with me, they're not the right people anyway, because anyone that wants to sort of make your journey theirs isn't really giving a shit about you and what you want anyway. So that's quite a good way of looking at that, what you just said.
Totally accurate. And again, I come back to the decisive thing. Like I know you don't have kids, but I don't feel like I've got kids. Like,
what do you mean?
I'm 40, I'm me, but I'm older. And I have 3 kids now. It's just me. But then I've also got these 3 kids that I have to look after. And the mission changed. It gave me a mission. But as before I had the kids, I was just floating. I didn't really have, because you can't take that away. Once you've got it, you've got it. You don't ever get rid of that mission. You're on a mission from then. So, but I don't think you feel different when you have kids. You feel like you, but you just refine everything. Everything gets sharper. Everything, because everything has to. I don't have time to just fucking nip to the cinema, or everything's planned. Everything's fucking on time, on a timer. But that's through design, and you just get more and more acute with everything that you do. My kid, what happened the other week? Fuck me, what was it? Katie and I we were on our own. The kids stayed. Oh, it was when when we were going through we thought Katie was giving birth and all that. And it's the kids were at my parents', and we just had hours of just sitting around, and we were like, this is weird. And it felt wrong. It felt like, what should we be doing here? But right. Obviously, I didn't go to Coaches Congress on Friday because my fucking flight was cancelled and all that shit. I won't go into all that crap again. But I had 7 hours sat in Starbucks doing admin. And the amount of work I got done, the amount of new ideas I had, the amount of writing that I had got done, I could easily have sat there and just watched Netflix or done whatever. I wrote 3 programs. I caught up with 2 clients. I had a show with Stephen. I come up with some ideas for Coaches Congress Twickenham. I had another call with another mate of mine. I did so much. And I think that's all because whenever I have time where it's quiet time, it feels shit, right? And coming back to what you said about anxiety, right? No, people don't know how to fill time anymore. People aren't able to just enjoy time, enjoy seeing time as something that you're sat in rather than seeing it whizzing by. Jump on the train. You're in time. You are there at the moment. There was a beautiful saying I heard recently. I've said it already before once, but what is it? Art decorates space and music decorates time. I fucking love that saying. Like, music decorates time. And like this idea that time is something that you can put a stamp on and you can be part of it, that you become a lot more yeah, I've only got two. It as I've got older, not only am I more decisive with my words. That's number 3 out there, right outside the door. I'm more decisive with my actions as well, because you have to be. Like, that's just being an adult.
But do you know, like one of the things you said then about sort of when you have kids, you get that sort of clarity. But I'd sort of say that, yeah, I haven't got kids, but I think it's more to do with purpose than anything. Kids are a purpose, but since I've really developed a massive passion for what I'm doing business-wise, my focus and my clarity and where I spend my time has changed astronomically. You know what I mean? It's like I'm unrecognizable from the person I was just 3 years ago, and I had the brand then. But it's like since I've like started gathering legs with it, and I think when you've got a purpose, I feel like you do, like you said, when you have that quiet time, it's quite nice because it's your time, and you might choose to work on your business. I do that. I have an hour every day where I just work on it, no distraction, no phone, no nothing. Yeah, and it's quite nice because you're filling it with something. But I guess if you don't have a purpose or you don't have something that's driving you, whether that be family, business, fitness, whatever it may be, and you get that time on your own, you're just in your own head, miserable as fuck.
Well,
and that's a dangerous time then.
The devil makes work for idle thumbs. They've been around for 3,000 years, that saying. Like, if you're idle, if you sit around, if you're not busy, if you don't have purpose, if you don't have drive or find ambition in some form or another, the devil comes to play. This goes nuts. You think about things too much. You get paranoid. You find other ways to keep fucking, and like Heidi's just said, that's where addiction comes in. People are escaping. The Kanye fucking lyric, what's worse, the pain or the hangover? Like, the pain of being alive and overthinking, and the anguish that these people feel. What is worse, that pain or the hangover of substances, coming off those substances? Which is worse? There's a genius line.
And I never used to. I've got an addictive personality, but I've never been like an addict with anything. But I used to, before I really truly found purpose, I've been like the kind of person, mate, where I've always had potential at whatever I've done, but I've never fulfilled it. And whatever it is that's held me back, I've never really put my finger on it. But I used to do that. What Heidi mentioned there. Like, that's why people have to numb themselves. I used to go out every weekend, probably on a Thursday night, sometimes a Friday night, not get until Sunday, and just, get up, go to work and do it all again, because it was just like my release from a lack of potential that I'd never really fulfilled. And like now, the difference now is sometimes I do need to numb myself, but I'm doing it so that I have a minute off, because right now, if I'm like, I want to work all the time, I want to train all the time, and it's just not sustainable. And the amount I do sort of on a weekly basis, I don't know how I do it. So every now and then I just think, right, but I don't do it in the same way that I used to. You know what I mean? Now I find different ways to sort of help my brain relax in those bits of downtime, because I know I've got to have them, but I don't want them. It's like, whereas before it was all about numbing myself from whatever I were hiding deep within me almost. It was bizarre. Well, you would have like delved right deep into me about 3 or 4 years ago with how you see things.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if you think of like, everyone has the potential to be anxious, because all anxious is unresolved thought. Like it just floats around. It hasn't gone
Well, it's not
anywhere.
real, is it? Yeah, it's not real.
No, but it's static that hasn't been let out. And it's like people love to go on long runs and they come back and they're calm. I get that from lifting heavy. Like if I lift, if I'm feeling like I haven't, if I've got any static to burn, I go and lift stuff, because when I am lifting, I think of nothing else. I have to be present. I can't think about anything else, or I break in half. And the amount of physical exertion I've found over the years, that's worked for me. I am not an addictive person, but the purpose extinguishes that static. It channels it and it gets rid of it. And if you don't have purpose, if you don't have something that you're building towards, and the thing is, and I hate, and I did used to hate, and I still hate parents that preach, well, you don't know, you haven't got kids, or one day you will find out, or blah, 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 fuck off. I hate that shit, right? But for me personally, the purpose of all purposes now, every single thing that I do, my purpose when I lift, my purpose when I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, my purpose when I'm at Tesco's, every single part of my life, the rock foundation purpose of all of those decisions is my family. Like it all sprouts down towards that one foundation and that one thing. So because of that, everything that I'm doing links into that. So and because of that, if ever I feel like slacking, if ever I feel like not going to work, if ever I feel like being lazy, the direct result is my family miss out on something. So I have to do it. It's not a choice. It becomes the fact that it's not even a choice. You just do it. That Nike phrase, which, by the way, over the last few years, it's sunk in. It's not, oh, just do it. It's just do it. Like you've got no option. Just do it. Like fucking crack on. That could be the English version, couldn't it? Crack on.
That's always been one of my things in the last sort of 2.5 years, 3 years, and I said that I've really doubled down and actually started to fulfill some of the potential that I've wasted most of my life.
Yeah.
I've struggled some days with that purpose element, because right now my purpose is the work. So my anchor isn't quite as, I don't want to say quite as strong, but probably right. When your anchor is your family, like I've always been of the premise, like if your purpose is anything other than yourself, like what happens when your family leaves or your kids grow up and leave and all that. So I always tried to find purpose elsewhere, but mostly because I don't have the family and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know, like recently, like making the changes that we've made at the Defiant Co, like taking on a member of staff, they become your purpose in a way, because they've trusted me enough to come and work for me. So then that's a bit more purpose that's outside of just my purpose for doing the work and doing the bits and bobs like that.
Yeah.
And
Mate,
one of the things you said then about like training, which, like that gives you that sort of almost silence and just everything fades away. You messaged me actually, because you were like, oh, you've been a bit quiet recently. Is everything good? And I was like, I've just had a fucking lot going on with like lots of different bits and bobs, business, like doing it all good. Like my business partner moving away. So that had like the dynamic of how we work together changed. Like we lost the family dog, all those little bits and bobs. And what made me think about it was like, I was going to the gym for the release. And what I figured out, which was almost like really good, but equally meant that it wasn't a release, was my habit of training. And like, I'm not an elite athlete or anything, but I train every single day. I never have rest days. Might do a bit less, might just do a bike, might just do a couple of walks, but I do something. And what I realized when I was having, by my standards, a reasonably rough time, going to the gym didn't help, because it had become that ingrained in me that it was just something I did. It wasn't a release. And then afterwards I was like, is that a good thing or a bad thing that I'm that habitual with going that it doesn't actually make me feel better when I need it to, almost?
Right. Yeah, you've almost got to have like a relationship with your training. Like too much of it and it gets shit. Too little of it and you don't get any feedback from it, and you don't get any reward from it. You've got to treat it like it's a person. And like, I'm down to 4 sessions a week at the moment. This is my training. And every time I train, I go, I train hard at the moment, right?
Is that an offer? I'll take it. Just while you're talking about training hard.
Yeah. But like, it's very easy to use the gym as like an escape, like an escape from the world. But then it becomes, well, as long as we're moving. And that phrase is this week. It's, oh, as long as they're moving, or oh, it's good that they're moving. It's better than being at home on the sofa. Like we've said that too much, obviously, but like, it's the same thing. You should go to the gym with intent, and you should be getting maybe a little bit nervous on the way to the gym about what's coming up. Like, and if you're going there to tick a box and it just becomes part of your day and it becomes routine and it becomes like boring, that's shit. That's bad. That's a bad place to be, man. Like, you've got to, especially as you get older, like, time priority. Like, the 25-year-olds in the gym that are in there 6 days a week for 2 hours, 20 minutes of it, they're chatting, having a laugh. When I was 25, that would have been me, right? That would have been me. But now I need to be home. Like, I just do not have, and this is all down to priorities. I'm not judging anyone on how they use their time. I do not judge people. It's their priority. But don't come to me moaning about you couldn't get something done because you could have, you just didn't prioritize it. I don't judge you until you start complaining that you don't have enough time for that kind of thing. And, oh, I missed out because I don't have the time. No. You put your time elsewhere. We all get the same amount of time. So don't moan at me. And
you've got to always do that every time you find yourself. I've done it massively over the last few years. Like, every time you find yourself saying, I haven't got time, just kick yourself in the bollocks there and then and just change it. And then you'll stop saying it, because you have time for everything that you want to do. A lot of people that haven't got time are fucking watching Netflix and shit like that. Like, if that's what you want to do, fine, but own it. You have got time. You're just choosing to spend that time in other places. And that again, but that's the self. I think when you realize that, and when you're man enough or woman enough to admit it, everything gets better, because you're being honest. And the moment you be honest with yourself, whatever that looks like, everything's better, because there's no internal narrative, is there?
See, I had a conversation with Hannah the other day. I was actually walking to my plane.
This makes me laugh when Heidi says that. Isn't that the best when people say, I wish I trained as much as you, I just don't have time. Like, there are days, like this Saturday, for example, I'm going to an event at Forge Functional Fitness with Defiant, with a pop-up shop. So I'm going to have to get up. If I want to train before I go, which I do, because I'm going to be sat on my arse all day, I'll probably just do like a few hours, like an hour on the bike or something, and catch up on a few podcasts, whatever. But I'll get up and do it. I'm going to get up probably at 4:00 to do it. I ain't got time. If I got up at the same time I normally get up at, I haven't got time. But I'm prioritizing that part of training because it matters to me, and that's the difference. So, like,
So I thought, I forgot what we were saying about just before that. Never mind. CrossFitters are the HB pencil of fitness. Just thought I'd throw that out there. But no, it's hang on a minute. Sorry.
He's sidetracked. He's bollocking someone. I'll fill this dead air.
So I'm back.
Oh, it's back. It's back. I'll not fill it.
Yeah, sorry, you don't have to fill me in. No, fuck, I forgot I had a really poignant thing to say then. And then Heidi came in and ruined it.
She's been on form tonight. I've been enjoying her back and forth.
Heidi's the funniest, definitely the funniest female I know. Oh, that was it. That was it. Hannah. Right. So I was talking to Hannah. I was thinking about funny women. So Hannah Mittu, who's doing the show on this channel, who runs the Academy program, who works at BF3, who's just an amazing fucking legend of a woman. I was talking to her, and she has come to the same conclusion recently, where you can build up narratives in your head. You can get wound up by shit that's going on. Like at the moment, especially, whatever side of the fence you're on politically, stuff's weird at the moment, right? Just generally, the last 5-10 years have been really strange to be an adult, right, in the UK and the US and globally, really. I think a lot of anxiety comes from a lack of control over things. So when they can't control something, they build up anxiety, and they have to express that anxiety somehow, and they lash out at people. They have to be late for things because they sit outside round the corner. They want to be in control of something. It's like these people in the gym. They'll be coachable, but they will tweak one little thing so that they made the decision and not you, right? There's honestly, there are a lot of people.
No, I
like
see
that,
it. I see
right?
it. Yeah.
So I was talking to Hannah, and we were talking about this in terms of like whatever side of the political spectrum you're on, right? At the moment, you could easily, and we see it all the time, people getting really rolled up and really wound up and really like anxious and expressive about all the shit that's going on at the moment, knowing full fucking well there is nothing that they can do about it. If COVID taught you anything,
I think though, what I would challenge on that is they do nothing about it. Not they can't do anything. So I consume quite a lot of information in the political spectrum and sphere, and I have very strong views that I hold dear because I think they're more in line with the beliefs and the structure and the society that this country was based on. And I share some stuff. I haven't for a while because I've just been like, I've been prioritizing other things, to be honest. But I've been consuming the information and still doing my due diligence. I always try and look up what I'm consuming. But I started, there's 4 of us that meet up every second Thursday to discuss it. Mm-hmm. So that was our way of, right, what can we do? You know what I mean? So if you strongly believe in something or something impacts you in a profound way, there is something you can do, whether that's just talk rationally to like-minded people, maybe look at how you can get involved in politics in some way or another, even at a very local level. So I push back on that there's nothing you can do about these things. I think the things that you do are limited, but they are very much in your control. And if you're going to let something bother you because you just believe every news headline that you ever see, and then all you want to do is rant incoherently on social media about it, yes, I get your point. But I think there is always something you can do if something's important to you.
But like,
might not be easy, but
said, like action.
Yeah.
Action is what matters, not talk. But for me, yeah.
It depends though, because action starts with talking, doesn't it? So you don't just take action on something as grand a scale as, say it is a political, we're making it political, say it's a political thing. Mm-hmm. You can't just take action without going into the streets and gunning people down like an idiot. You know what I mean? The action starts with talking to people to see if, are you mad? Or do people hold these beliefs? Do people care? And then what's the next step and the next step and the next step? So yeah. I think discussing it has helped make a change. And even if that change is in what I share online and the tone in which I speak about these things, then that's a positive change.
So do you feel like, so here's my rebuttal, right? Because I've thought a lot about this over the years, right? And my conclusion that I've come to is, if I fucking nail my role in the community, if I'm an incredible husband, the best father my kids could have, the best coach I can do, pay my way, contribute, help people, volunteer, if I can be the best me that I can be towards my community, that is how I make a change. That is how I
100%.
contribute, and that is how I am responsible for my own actions, and I'm competent and I contribute. If I get all riled up and I'm lying awake at night on my phone arguing with someone, you think this, but I think this, and then I come on and I talk on social media about, well, this person said, hey, aren't they silly? I don't believe that. It's like all that's doing is two things. One, you're attracting like-minded people to basically stroke your dick. Or two, getting arguments online with people that don't agree with you. That's the best case scenario for that option. Either one of those two or both at the same time. And I'll be honest, that's what builds anxiety in people. They lie awake at night worrying about what people are thinking of them. Fuck that. That's dangerous shit. That's how bad things happen. Like for me, when I go to bed at night, I literally lay down and listen to a podcast underneath my pillow that I've listened to 22 years, but I drift away. I have amazing dreams, and I wake up and I'm on cloud nine and I live this perfect, serene life and I have no stresses. And again, it links back to that value set. My values are rock solid. Nothing, they're bulletproof. Nothing's breaking them, because like when I had my gyms and my businesses, that meant everything to me. But the thing is, I sold them. And I was sad, but I could sell them. Something else could come out of it. Whereas my kids, I can't really sell them legally. Like they're there now. Like they're done. There's nothing that I can do except make them better. Like I can't get rid of them. So like, as much as building my gyms and my affiliates was an incredible project for me, and at the time it felt like everything. You know, the 4 o'clock alarm was, I was up and about, and it's, yes, this is my business. You know, paying my staff at the end of each month and being able to know that, you know, Shanaz, who was my gym manager at one of the gyms, was able to go on holiday because of the employment we gave her. And like, there's all this shit that goes with it. And it's like amazing. We put on events. We had like fucking big events in Brunel University. All this shit that went with it. It was amazing. But I was able to sell it and move on. And to me, there's a finite factor with certain things that are in my life, but there's other things that are purely an infinite wealth, a well of foreverness. With like, and family for me is that thing. Like it won't ever run out. It's there forever. And I get to tap into that whenever I want. And so everything has to be about them. Like every step of my day is towards them. And I can enjoy that. And I've learned that I get to forge paths and make my life about them. And I get to enjoy the shit that I'm doing. Like my PT role. I love being a PT. I love coaching. I love like the Janimal. Shout out to the Janimal today. She won the European champs and the Masters in Finland in powerlifting. She won the worlds a few months ago. She's the reigning European and world champ. Like seeing her on stage, I was watching it live on here. I didn't get to go to Finland. Like, and I'm coaching in the Commonwealths in August in Glasgow. Like they for me are going to be things that I will never forget. The Glasgow will be a once in a lifetime thing for me. Like it's going to be an amazing thing, but it's for my family, because it's for my reputation as a coach. I'm going to build on it, which is my source of earning and finding value, and which will contribute towards my family. So there's a thing it's all plugged into at the mains, which it all feeds back into. And for me, that's what that is. But go like the I think that because the politics thing, I totally get that some people have to be involved in it. Otherwise, it doesn't happen. But 99% of people probably should let it lie and get on with their day, not stress on mobile phones, not worry about it. Because firsthand, I've seen one of my clients deteriorate over the last couple of years because of what's going on in Israel. Deteriorate.
Mate, the same. There's someone that I know that goes to... well, I'm not going into too much detail so people don't like piece it together, but she's literally like, she's gone over the edge, like to the point where in a really empathetic way, because it's about like, you know, similar the Israel and Palestine conflict, and what she's been, indoctrinated in has left her feeling like terrible for being a human almost. She like hates her own existence, and she's the loveliest person. And I do get that. But I just have a view on it whereby, because I don't let it dictate my mood or my day or anything, I just like to be well informed. So I like to be aware of what's happening. I'll do my own research. I won't just believe what I'm told. And I think that positively impacts me, because I like to be well informed, so that when conversations do come up, and I don't have arguments online, I'll maybe throw a bomb sometimes and just let it go off, like when all those people come in mediocre white balding male, which was great. But I like to be informed, so that then if I'm ever in a situation where I'm having and it happens all the time when I'm having a conversation with my mum or my parents or people that don't maybe do the research and stuff, when they'll say, "Oh God, have you seen this? It's terrible," I can at least give them an informed full picture of the situation. So like, I think it makes me more rounded. But I do believe something you said then about how to be positively impactful is to be the best version of you can be for your society and for your people and for those around you. And that's definitely something that resonates with me massively. It's like, are you the best person you can be? And if you are, then nothing else really matters, because you can only control you, can't you?
And, you know, although I'm not a Christian, I hold Christian beliefs in terms of like the structure, the value sets.
Agreed.
And that is what the Jesus character is. It's the perfect specimen of human. And it's how do you get as close to that as you can? That is the gold standard of being human. So people that are Jesuits or people that are following the word of him, trying to be as close to him as they physically can or humanly can, I totally buy into that. I totally get it. Like it's for me, but for me, it's the same as like Harry Potter. Like Harry Potter in the films is like the gold standard of wizard. If you want to be the best wizard, you got to try and be as close to Harry Potter as you fucking can to be the best wizard. It's the same with all for me, all fiction and all novels. Like there's purpose and value, but the ultimate value from any book, and that is why it is the Bible or the library, the collection of books, it's because all of those values add up to the best human. And what could be more important than being the best human you can be? Everything else falls short of that. And this is what I was talking to Hannah about. We've both come to this conclusion in the last sort of month or so, is fuck trying to control the uncontrollable. Control the controllable and dominate in that thing. Like become synonymous. Like fucking Coca-Cola is with Coke. Like people go into a pub and ask for a Coke. No one asks for a fucking Pepsi unless they're Scottish. I
am brew for them lads.
But like you've got to make yourself invaluable. You like people can't separate your name from hard work or being a reliable or consistent and a valuable person. If you everything that you do should be pointing towards that. And if that is what you hold dear in everything that you do day to day, you're on for a winner. Because even if no one calls on you, even if no one uses your services, no one relies on you, no one uses your services, at least you can hold your head high and say, I did the hard work and I am there for people when they need me, rather than being a dosser. Clip that.
That were a good one. I think the only person other than Tyson Fury I've ever heard say dosser.
Really? My dad says it all the time to me.
Well, mate, I'm about done at that. I think I'm pretty good at that. But one thing I do want to end on, mate, is just to say that anyone that has signed up for the CrossFit Open, let's bring it back to a bit of CrossFit, we're giving a £10 voucher away completely free. So get in touch with us. And you know what, mate? We've given away over £4,500 worth of vouchers so far. That's not bad, is it, to say we're nothing to do with CrossFit?
That's amazing.
Yeah, so if you are...
an affiliation. That's you've paid for an affiliate for the year.
Yeah, so if you are a CrossFitter or an athlete or anyone that's going to be doing the Open, get in touch and let's see if we can... Well, there's still, about 2 weeks left. Let's see how much more we can give away. So, yeah.
Oh, before we fuck off, Jon, are you able to just jump on the studio while we hang up? I just want to talk to you offline. If you can, thanks.
A dosser is someone. My description of a dosser would be just someone that wastes time.
A lazy bugger.
Yeah, there you go.
Dossers about.
Right.
You doss about. Yeah.
Studio
Cool.
then. All done.
Yeah,
Right. Thanks, Heidi, for your contributions as well. Goodbye.